Welcome to my channel, Endless Roads. This is Hot Cup Joe coming to you from the Philippines in my own place here. I was thinking, well, I had a couple of people ask me about becoming an expat, what they need to do. And I thought I might get on here and make a video about it. Now, before we get started, I want to put a warning out here right now to anybody that makes a comment on my video that just comments are fine. And if you have an opinion, that's fine. And if you want to like my video and you want to add me, that's fine too. And I'll add you. But, and this is go to you, Todd. Don't get on my channel and make a comment that says, "Hi, my name is Todd. I have a channel. I have this video, that video, and this video. Why don't you leave his channel and come to mine?" You will get deleted and you'll get blocked because not only is that disrespectful, it's it's just totally wrong. Okay, I would never do that to somebody. I'm not even here trying to make profit. I ain't monetized. So plan number two, get applied for monetized. It's something I want to do for fun. But I am not going to sit here and let somebody jump on my channel and tell people, "Hey, leave this person's channel and come to mine. I got a lot of videos." No, it ain't going to fly. Now, with that, there's another guy named Jacob. And he sent me a message. It wasn't on YouTube. It was on Facebook in a group I'm at. And we just had an election. And a lot of people's upset, a lot of people wants to become an expat for different reasons. Now, Jacob, he wants to be a expat because he's upset about the election. He's, I think he says he looks, he didn't say, but he looks like he's like 27 years old. I doubt if he's got a job. And his president that he wanted didn't get elected, so now he wants to leave the country. We don't want you here. You're the wrong type of person to be an expat. You need to stay in your mother's basement, play Black Ops for 4 years, and then come out and hope for the best in the next election. Okay? But with that said, let's talk about that. I was thinking about, everybody comes on here and he says, well, these are the 3 things you need to know, the 4 things you need to know if you're going to live overseas. It's a lot more complicated than that. I'll tell you, when I started looking to be an expat here in the Philippines, 2000, that's 24 years ago. I came here in 2017. That's 17 years planning before I came here. Actually, at first I was going to go, actually it was a little bit earlier, I was going to go to Mexico. But as I said before, I am a chef. I was working for the Hyatt hotel chain. My job was to train the international students to become chefs themselves and work in different hotels around the world. And I have discovered a lot of people, interesting people, very good people from all the countries. But we seem to have a lot of Filipinos as culinary students and externs. And they were saying that, Chef John, you should come to the Philippines because they speak English. Because they kept on saying, so what's your plans when you retire? I said, I'm going to head down to old Mexico and kick back because it's so cheap there. And they said, well, can you speak Spanish? I'm like, no, I can't. At my age back then, that was 2010. So, you're looking at 50 years old. I'm not going to be learning a new language, at least not easily. And they said, we come to the Philippines. They speak English. So that's how I came here. But I did my homework. And this is what this video is about. There's a movie out there in a book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This is going to be the Expats guide to the world. Now, there's a lot of countries in this world. There's actually recognized by the United Nations 195. There's another 5 that's countries that's not recognized, and then there's 11 more countries that's governed by different countries, but they're still their own country. So if you figure that out, you look at 211 countries to choose from. Now, everybody that's becoming an expat, they have their own reasons, like the little 27-year-old who stays in his mom's basement, he's upset about the political in there. Then there's other people who don't like the society this way it's going. Some people like they can't make it, when the pandemic hit and they got up the triple digits, like not triple, but double digits, 30% inflation down here, down there, they can't make it. So then they're looking to go somewhere because they're getting close to age. Then you got the people that they want to be for other reasons, maybe religious reasons. We don't know. But one thing you all need to do is sit down and study. Now, I started off, because I always hear these videos, there's the 3 things, 4 things, 5 things you need to do to become an expat. And I kept on thinking, that's so limited. So I thought I would start with 10. And it ended up being 20. And I ended up at 30, and they probably come up with a lot more reasons. Things you need to check out. And now, before we get into this list, I want to say this. Do not rely only on YouTube. YouTubers out here are for one reason only, to make money. Most of them. I can't say all, because all does not apply to anything. If you see all women are this way, all men are that way, all certain country people are a certain way. No, not all. Some, maybe most. But on YouTube, majority of the people that's doing YouTube is for financial gain. And they're going to say whatever they need to say to get you to view that. They're going to give you some clickbait title. But I'm going to tell you, now, include me, I don't want you to just sit here and watch this video and say, okay, I'm going to take his word for it. I want you to go to places. Sit on YouTube, go to Google or whatever browser thing you use, and look up Ford Magazine, Ontario.com, Bloomberg. Look up Investment Daily. These are magazines that track everything, and that. And then out of that, then you can go to U.S. and World Report. You can do AD Scientific Index. These are some places I want to get out there. Worldometer.com. The CIA. It's a good place to go. MyTravelSite.gov. UnitedNations.org. Wikipedia, which you all know about Wikipedia. It's a good place to start, but I would not rely on it because it's required for people to update it. If somebody don't update it, then you might be behind. So Wikipedia is a good for the base, but I wouldn't just rely on everything on that because a lot of stuff when you go on there it's outdated because the world and the countries don't keep the same rules and regulations, and market and history changes all the time. Then you got USAID.org and World. Man, I had to write all these down. I couldn't remember all. These are some of the places I went. Now, I've been up for almost 24 hours because it's a lot of data to go through. And because, okay, I don't have it right here. I did have a whiteboard. You have a laptop. But like this, you can. What you want to do, you want to take your laptop and you're going to make a list of everything that's important to you, and then you start looking at it. I would not wait until you're 65, 67 years old to do it. If you're planning to be an expat, and you're 50 or and that, start working now on that, and then update it every month because things change in different countries. You pick out, you go down the list and you find out what's the best for you. You mark down 10, maybe 20 countries. And then you make down the list of everything you like and you mark on it. You see what the score for that country is. And then you're going to find out where you want to go. Now, I'm going to get into the list here because I think it's important. What is the most important thing you think is? And some people might be different, but to me, it should be safety. Now, United States is ranked 134 out of 162 countries. Now, like I said, there's 195. So a lot of these places, they only have 162 countries. I don't know why they don't put the other countries on there and that, but maybe they're just, not worth places that don't give any data or something. But out of 162 countries, the United States is marked 132. Does that mean it's super dangerous in America? Well, no, not really, because it's wherever you're at. But Philippines is marked at 131. No, I'm sorry, take that back. 107. That means there's 107 countries in this world safer than the Philippines. And that is because the Forbes came out with the most dangerous places for foreigners to travel, and Manila came up number 5 of all the cities in the world. And now, with Mindanao being pretty bad, it brings the score down. But like there are some places if you still want to go to, if you're not from the United States, you want to go to the United States because you're an expat coming from a different country, you want to go to the United States. There's safe places. Now I live 60 miles out of St. Louis. When I was in America, I lived 15 miles out of Orlando when I was in Florida. I lived in Oklahoma City, but you know where not to live because if you always do your research. I went on to these sites here when I lived in moved from St. Louis to Orlando, Florida, because I'm taking my 2 kids on there. I want to be safe. I checked up the crime rates, where the crimes mostly happen, where's the safest place at, the income of dispersally, and I found me a decent place that fit my budget. So with that, we're going to get into safety. Number 1, at least for me. Number 2, peace index. Okay, you think that safety and peace index is the same? No, it's not. Being peaceful is a total thing. And they also got a peace index, global peace index that goes by countries. You can look up that. Okay, the next thing you should be looking at how cheap it is. Now, the cheap, because you can find places cheap. I mean, I could probably live on $1 in some places. These places ain't where you want to live. And because all these other stuff come there. But you want to go to a place that's going to give you a better life than where you're living at now. If you're living in Australia and you're living on Australian dollar, and you have to go somewhere else, maybe like UK, the Australian dollar is weaker to UK, so the money that you're getting is from UK. It's not going to give you a better life in sorry, the dollar you're getting from Australia is not going to give you a better life in UK, United Kingdom, or United States. So you have to go where the arbitration is different, where the currency rate is lower. Higher for the money that you have. So being cheap is a happiness. There's a global happiness. Now the countries that hit this are like Finland, Iceland. Iceland pretty much hits the top on everything, including the most expensive place to live. You don't hit the top or the most affordable, but it's ranked the most peaceful, the most safe, and the most happy. Other places like uh, let's see, Switzerland, uh, all these northern European countries. They're they're considered safe after that, but they're the most expensive too. I think in Finland you need about 100,000 U.S. to live per month. No, sorry, per year. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember all this off my head. Then there's health care. Now, if you're becoming an expat, right, most likely you're in your senior years. So you're going to start having health problems. Now, you're going to get here, most people, when they start becoming a senior, uh, they've been working all their lives and they're ready out to go have fun now. But they're slowing down. They're starting to have health problems, the knees giving out, stuff like that. And your bones are brittle, getting brittler and stuff. Chances are you're going to, sometimes going to need health care. How's the hospitals there? How many doctors they have in that country? How many nurses? Right now I'm in the Philippines. Now I've been to several other countries, and the Philippines have some good hospitals, but very few. There's a lot of understaffed hospitals and understaffed, not enough doctors, not enough nurses. Matter of fact, if you go into one of these hospitals, you might end up spending 10, 12 hours waiting for a doctor to come in to see you because he's at another hospital working there so he can switch over to the other place and they have to share the hospital. Reason why is because the pay here is very low and most doctors that could get out, they do go out. They go somewhere else. So healthcare is a big thing. And then there's, along with that, the next thing would be health insurance. Now, if you go to some country, uh, you're going to want health insurance, and a lot of times they have the public health insurance and the private health insurance. And anywhere you go, private's going to be a lot higher. I have to use the Philippines again because we're here. Uh, the public health insurance is like PhilHealth. It pays 20% of your medical bill. Now, if you look at America, usually it's anywhere from 60 to 40 with the new Affordable Care Act. And I say new because I'm old. It's that I just remembered before the Affordable Care Act, my insurance was 90-10. They paid 90, I got 10. I had excellent insurance, and with this new Affordable Care Act became unaffordable for me. It might have been great for other people, especially those with very low income. But me, I went from only paying $170 a month for me and my two kids to paying almost $500 a month for me and my two kids, and a lot of out-of-pocket costs. Like if I had to do my chemo, when I went to the hospital, they told me I needed $5,000 up front, and my other thing, I had $50 up front. So you see, healthcare is a big deal if you go somewhere. And here now, I have a friend. Yeah, he's I call him friend because we've been chatting and stuff. He's one of my subscribers. He has his channel too. His son had to have brain surgery. It cost him almost 1,000,000 pesos. He had public health. He had to pay $800,000. I mean 800,000 pesos. That means the insurance company covered 200,000. That's a big chunk of money to just go out there and that. Now, if he would have went to private, he would have had to pay anywhere from, I think the lowest is looked at 1,100, and the highest could be up to 3,000. So a year. So health insurance is a big idea. Visa. You have to look at visas because some of the visas in every country is vastly different. Now, a lot of people really like the visas here, but they're all getting ready to change. They're already starting to change. Where they say you could be here for 36 months before you have to leave the country, just renew. And you had the 2 months, the 1 month, the 2 months, the 6 months, and the 12 months. But they got rid of the 12 months. They got rid of the 6 months. Now you only can do 2 months. And if you stay here, and this only happened in the last 90 days, you stay here longer than 6 months, now you have to pay an extra 1,000 pesos after that 6 months. So in that year's time, you paid 6,000 for that first year extra for being here. The next year after that, you paid 12,000. It's something to keep in mind. Now, some place like Argentina, they're very relaxed on their visas. And the next one is currency exchange, and that's why I mentioned um, Argentina, right? Right now, Argentina dollar is peso is trading for U.S. dollar 1,100 to 1. Here in the Philippines, it's still good, but it's 58 to 1. That's a big difference. Now, so your dollar, or if you have the British pound or the Australian dollar, it will go a lot farther in Argentina than it does here, because in Argentina, yes, they have high inflation, but the inflation is not as high like the runaway of the currency, because they print too much. So, take example here in the Philippines, if you buy a condo, you got to buy it at the Philippine price of 58 to $1 a condo. Now, if you go to Argentina and you want to buy a house there or land, then you're going that land is still priced at Argentinian peso, and usually that land hasn't gone up that much. All that house, so you're going to get that house a lot cheaper because you're buying it with the dollar compared to some other there. And then let's say 5 years ago, it was only 60 pesos to a dollar. So that's how high it went, the currency rate. So right now, if you go to Argentina and you buy a house, you're gonna get a heck of a deal on that house. That's my second plan if something happens here in the Philippines. Okay, infrastructure, and that's something a lot of people don't think about. When you're always hearing about, oh, it's cheap here, it's uh, good climates there. They never talk about infrastructure. I watched several videos the other day, and I'm going to say this right now. I'm getting really tired of these AI generated videos, and I'm pretty sure that YouTube's the one who's doing these AIs, because now they don't have to share their revenue; they're just keeping their stuff. But they're coming up, and I think the favorite word for the other president was running in America was word salad. They said all her stuff was word salad. It's a bunch of words thrown together, don't say anything. Well, that's what these AI videos are. And they come up there and they said, oh, the 10 best countries to move to. And then they go in South Africa. And they say all the positive stuff. And yes, it's a modern city. Was a modern city. But right now, you can go 2 days without electric. You might get it for 3 or 4 hours, then you go another 2 days. And it's getting worse. It's digressing. Right now, the richer people and the only people who have electric pretty much in South Africa is the rich, because were able to buy solar panels. They are buying water. A lot of it's just packing up and going, because the country was a very powerful country, but this, the political situation, now it's not. You have rolling blackouts here in the Philippines. We have rolling blackouts around us. Not so much in the big cities, what we call the bubbles in the Philippines. The capital region of Cebu, or Davao, or Manila. Their grid is going to be really good. The electric's going to be stable. I have been here since 2017. They probably take about 4 times, 5 times in those 7 years. Electric went out, and the most that's ever been out was 3 hours, and that was because of some big bad storm. Now, I went on several trips around the Philippines, and I got down there into the province when you get out of that little bubble area, and you're on vacation, you're renting a really nice resort, and you're sweating your butt off inside your room or the resort because no electric. And you're like, okay, this one resort I was at, and it was Saturday night at about 6 o'clock, and he had no electric all Saturday night and all Sunday. So I go there and said, when are you going to fix the electric? The electric's off. They go, oh, this is mandatory. They turn the electric off here every Saturday and Sunday around for the whole area to save energy. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish I knew that because I wouldn't spend all that money for that resort because I don't have it there. Now, the water quality here is very bad. The infrastructure for that, even though they do filter the water when it comes to your place, it's unsafe to drink. You have to buy your own water. And I'm in the capital region. So yeah, the infrastructure is very major, and there's a website there. You can probably go to Foreign Magazine or USA News or somewhere like that and find out what the infrastructure is. Okay, and the next one is the beauty of the land. Now, a lot of people don't mention that. You might see a video out there, so 10 most beautiful places in the world, and that. But if you're going to pick a place, you want a place that you want to go out and look at and be nice. I mean, you could go somewhere like South Sudan, it's very cheap there. But when you're living out in the desert, there ain't no infrastructure, and all you see is sand, and sometimes you only see that because the sandstorm hurts your eyes. You know what I'm talking about? No sense, you got to have beauty is a major thing. You have five senses, touch, taste, smell, hearing. Sorry, I'm forgetting uh, the other ones, but you those are what you realize you're stimulated by all those things. So looking at something is very important. If you like the beach, you want to be there. If you want to like the mountains, you might want to go somewhere in South America where you got the Andes Mountains, or maybe northern Europe, like the uh, Caucasian Mountains. Some place like that. It's very beautiful. But there's a lot of not beautiful places, and you don't want to go there. Okay, that's number 10. That was where I was supposed to stop at. But when I was sitting there thinking about it, I was like, okay, uh, what about expats? What about other foreigners? What if you want to be around people like yourself? That's important. You might want to get on and look for the expat community. And if you can't find you an expat community, I would say don't go to that country because if nobody wants to go there, there's a reason. You might want to do a little bit more research because if you're going to a place and you're the only foreigner in that country, there's a problem there because you're there. Nobody wants to go there, and you went there. You're by yourself. Okay. Then we go to cost of living. Now, to say the currency is low, right? So you're getting a good deal on your dollar, but you get there, and inflation's super high. So it kind of contradicts what you get. Or you get there and the rent's high. You go to a place, but too many other expats gone there or something, and they see you coming, so they got raise the hit with the rent. Now there is some countries that have two prices. A good example is Cuba. Cuba actually has two currencies, one for the population and one for the tourists and expats that come there. And you have to deal with that one, and you get a very low exchange rate. And rents are higher for you, and there's certain things. So, yeah, live in a place that you can afford, cost of living. There's hundreds of cost of living sites out there. And there's some good ones where they go instead of just trying to do like government thing, they have people write in what they pay and that. You see all these videos out there, my budget for the month, all right? With these cost of living websites, pretty much the same thing. They'll tell you how many people. It's sort of like doing a poll in the politics. You get so many in there, and then when they take all the average, what everybody says, and then they figure out what that is for that town, that city, that province, that county, then you will know what the cost of living is. And then they got comparing sites. So you might want to go in there. You might say, they got a site, and say like you live in Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas is going to be cheaper than New York City, right? So you know that this is what I'm paying in Dallas, Texas, and you take the site and you say, well, I'm going to go this country. Let me check 5 or 6 cities in there, and then they're going to tell you, depending, so if you're going to pay more for the 30% more than you live in Dallas, or 30% less, or something like that, they're going to give you that. Okay. Yeah, I had to take a break there. My wife needed me for something. Now we're on number 13 here. Political circumstances. That's major. Now, if you look at Bolivia, right? Bolivia's been on best places to retire at for many years, but right now it's on the verge of civil war. It's actually the political system there is breaking apart. So, political is a thing that you might want to check what's going on in the country before you say, well, look, this place is cheap, or this is beautiful, and I'm going to go there because it's going to hell. Haiti's another one. Yeah, Haiti's cheap. Haiti has beautiful landscape, but you're likely to get killed going there. So political is a major thing what's going on in there. People talk about politics in America. Politics in America is calm. Matter of fact, it's a lot better than most countries. I mean, we've seen Trump and Harris throw some names at each other, call someone their followers are garbage, or the other one says that she's her people are loose, Hitler. That's mild. We haven't seen politics in America where the person standing up with a gun, aiming in the air, taking a few shots, saying, "A new revolution, we're going to take over the government." We haven't heard where another politician is saying, "Oh, I don't like your politics. I'm going to go to your family's gravesite and dig up your father and your mother and take their bones and throw them into the ocean because we don't want your type here." We don't have that. So political is major. You have to check that out. How about also laws of the land? That's number 14 on the list. Law of the land. A lot of countries have laws that you might not know exist, or that people would even consider that it's a crime. Here's a good one. Philippines. There's no divorce. Matter of fact, it's the only country in the world where there ain't no divorce. Well, that's great. But if you really love the people, you don't have to worry about divorce. But say like your wife cheats on you. There is no divorce, but there is annulment, and it takes up to 15, 20 years to get. So by the time it's done, you ain't getting away from that anyway. There's other laws here. In America, if you find somebody and they're hungry, you can give them some money. But there's actually a Republican Act that was passed in 1986 that says if you give any beggar any money, you can actually be put in jail, because if you're not a set NGO, you can't do it. And I see people do it all the time. Actually, I was doing it quite a bit. What changed my mind was when I was in Manila. Me and my wife was getting on a bus, and a bunch of kids come running up to us, and I start passing out some pesos to them. And the police officer told me if I do that again, I'm going to jail. And I'm like, I was just helping the poor people. He goes, no, you're not helping, you're hurting. You're teaching children to beg instead of being responsible and getting a job and work. And he quoted the Republican Act. I remember looking at, I don't remember the actual numbers of the Republican Act, but if you look that up, you can get in trouble. Now, there's also rules in here that says if you have, you take on a partner and you tell her to quit her job and you're going to take care of her, but 4 months down the road, you find out she is a lunatic and you don't want her no more and you kick her out of the house, you could be in trouble. You can go to jail for that, for endangering the welfare of a woman. And if she has a child. So you might want to know the laws. Other countries have all types of laws. Here in the Philippines, you can't be a foreigner. You can't own land. You can't buy houses. A lot of countries you can. There's some countries that laws that says that you have to invest a lot of money to become a citizen. Well, Philippines is 10,000 to not to be a citizen, but to get to SSR where you can stay. Other places there are investments like I think it's Puerto Rico that you have to buy something that's worth $250,000 US, and then you get their passport and you're automatically a citizen. So yeah, you want to check out the law of the lands of everything where you go because if not, you can be in a lot of trouble. Okay, yeah, this one that I can read my writing. This so long since I write and been typing. Romantic landscape. Now, in the romantic landscape, okay, we're talking about a lot of expats. Let's face it. Imagine UK and Australia the same way getting out. The dating scene is just getting ridiculous. Before you met people at your work, your job, and you started dating. But now with the new culture, if you approach a woman at your church or work or anywhere else, you could be charged with harassment. And say if you get on a website, you might send 1,000 likes out to somebody, different people, 1,000 people, and you might get 1 or 2 likes, no response, because the dating landscape. So you might want to go somewhere else. But then when you go there, you might want to do your research on that, because some places are better than others. And like you come in here and you heard, well, yeah, the dating age is at 16 to 18, but you get here, ain't nobody going to want to date you at that age, and ain't nobody going to date you at 25 if they're in a stable lifestyle. I'm going to give you, like here in the Philippines, right now, the main thing for the young people 30 down is Korean drama, Korea lifestyle, K-pop music. And you're coming from Australia, New Zealand, UK, or America, you don't fit that thing. And now another one is that here you're going to be limited on your dating prosperity. Now, I know that a lot of people say, well, it's not about money. Well, it is. And it's not a bad thing about that, because when you're dating somebody and you come here and you're middle class and they're middle class, but they can date somebody in the middle class, why would they want to take you at 67 when they can get a middle class person? You're going to have to go to somebody that makes less money than you, because if a person went to college and they got a PhD and they're bringing in 3,000 to 4,000 American dollars, and they're living here in the Philippines, they're not looking at you to date you. That's just fact. I mean, you can argue it all day you want to about it, but that's what it is. And it's not bad. I mean, it's not wrong that they want to do that to these females, because history has always been like that. People might like somebody and they might want to get to know them and marry them, but they also want to know if that person can provide for them. And if you're going to offer them a less of a lifestyle than what they're already got, or the same, why would they want to go out to you and you're 30 years older than they are? Just my thought there. Food's another one. I'm going to try to speed through this a little bit because it's kind of getting a little long and I want to get a little point in the back. But food, you heard in America, we got this saying, it's a food desert. Well, usually it's about the poorer areas where or the crime-ridden areas where the restaurants and grocery stores, they pull out. They won't be there, because they're getting robbed, stuff like that, and it's a food desert. Well, countries are the same way, but not for the same reason. Okay, here in the Philippines, there's plenty of food, but it's not what you used to. If you want beef, you're going to pay more for it here than you do in America. Yeah, chicken's kind of high for the people that live here, but the vegetables thing. I went in the other day to buy a bag of mixed vegetables, and they're telling me it's $10 because Philippines are island. There's not much food here. Now, there's some South American countries that food is abundant. But usually, if you go to any island country, your choices are fish and maybe carrots and a few things like that. But you ain't got a big choice of vegetables, tropical food. That's it. That's one of the biggest things because I'm a herbivore, not herbivore, I'm saying omnivore, which leans more to a carnivore. I like meat, but I do like my vegetables with my meat. And I got two choices: rice and carrots and corn. That's it. I don't have all the other choices. I don't have Brussels sprouts. I don't have uh, asparagus. None of this stuff. You ain't gonna find that here. If you do, you're gonna pay like you're buying steak in America. So food's a big thing. Weather. That's another thing. Now, that was one of the criteria that I left in America. Now, I spend uh, 58 years in Missouri, right? I'm 65 now. I'm saying that because 7 years I've been pretty much out there during the wintertime. My cost for heating in the wintertime is three times up. And in the summertime, I was paying actually more for keeping my house cool in Missouri than I was here in the Philippines because in Missouri, it gets up to 100 degrees pretty much anytime through July and August. But the heat didn't bother me, but it was the cold. I got tired of the cold and being snowed in and all that stuff. So weather's a big deal. I mean, you come to the Philippines, it's tropical, but that means a lot of rainy days, a lot of flooding, a lot of typhoons tearing out the electrical wires, and you go in days without electric. You go to Canada, it's the opposite. You got the cold, the snow. Your winter starts earlier and ends later. So weather's a big thing. So whatever you might want to check that out if there's something you want to do. If you want to be in a place that's 100 degrees every day, go to the Middle East. Entertainment. The cost of entertainment, different places. Okay, here's another thing. I'm a big football fan of America. Not soccer, American football. And I love my baseball. Neither one can I watch here unless I buy some very expensive plan that's going to put it on there. Now, yeah, they do have the NBA because basketball is very popular here in the Philippines. But unfortunately, I'm not a big NBA person. I like the apple pies, baseball, football type of person. And you can't watch it. Theaters, not very good. Nightlife is only in the entertainment like music, concert stuff. There's not much of that here. And so if you go to another country, and if you're not in the major city and you decide to get out in the country because you want to save a little bit more, entertainment's not going to be something that's going to be available to you. Work availability. That's another one. Now you can work here in the Philippines. If you get the expensive work permit, you can do some things if you're married. If you get married, now a lot of people here come here they don't want to get married. So work is not good. Now they're trying to pass a law that says that no foreigner can do a job that should be doing a job that some Filipino can do. Sort of like what they say in America. We're giving our jobs to the illegals that Americans do, but here we're talking about legal people that's here in the Philippines that they can't work. Now there's other places you can go. My son went to Germany and he got a job right away as soon as he got there. You can go to Argentina and go to work. I don't think you want to go to Argentina because the base of crap and inflation is so high that the currency is no good. But if you can go to a place and work and get a decent pay, then that's fine. So workability, that you need to look that up. Religion. Now, is that something you never see? What's the best place to go for your religion? Well, yeah, you might find a country you like, but then if you're a member of a certain religious group, say you're Baptist or Nazarene or Sunni or Shiite, Buddha, whatever religion you pick, you got to see how that is there. There's some countries, if you're a religion, you can't practice your religion in that country. So you might look that up. And there's a lot of countries that religion, the church also runs the government. There again, you might get there. Say like you're atheist, it probably won't bother you too much. You just avoid any upsetting the government that's running the church. Okay, then we got banking. How stable is the banking system in the country you're at? I don't know if you are the ones watching here, if you remember the Vietnam War, or actually what happened after the Vietnam War. The economy crashed, and they got rid of the currency, and people had millions of dollars in the bank that became useless. A lot of people didn't put their money in the bank, and they kept it at home. And they find out the next day it's about as valuable as the toilet paper that they wiped their butt with. But this didn't happen one time. This happened 4 times in Vietnam. So it got to the point that even till today, a lot of people in there, if they get paid, they go buy gold, physical gold, not some stock and gold. They buy physical gold and hold it because they don't know if that currency is ever going to go down again. Zimbabwe, the currency went to where you had to have $1 billion Zimbabwe dollars to buy a loaf of bread. Matter of fact, it was the way people were making money in there. They were putting $1 billion for sale on eBay, and people would buy for maybe $1, $1.50. So they go, look, I got $1 billion bill. That's how bad it was. So yeah, the banking system is very important. Like here in the Philippines, I put this on the other video I've said. I have a bank here, and I have a bank in America. And my wife also has 2 bank accounts. And I don't put all my eggs in one basket. You know the old saying, you put it all in one, and the basket breaks, all the thing. So I put the money in the Philippines here, and I only put it in there if the exchange rate is extremely high. If it's low, then I just leave it in an American bank. I always leave a little everywhere, and I never go over what the government is allowing to cover. And if it gets to that point, then you open up another bank account, because they say for each bank account, it's good up to $10,000. So if you have 10 bank accounts, then you can have 100,000 in the thing, and you know that if something happens and that bank fails, you're going to get the government's going to guarantee you to get that money back. You put $1 million in, so 1 million pesos, you get 20,000. You're only going to get 10,000 back. So banking is very important. Then we're going to go to race. I don't want to be sounding racist here because it's not that. It's race and nationality. You go to a place and say you're black, white, red, yellow, and you're the only one there. You're going to stand out. And there's going to be people in every country that are racist, and they're going to look at you. And then again, you might want to go to a place where you feel people are like your own nationality. Some people don't bother me. It don't bother me. I could go to any country. It don't matter. But if you pull up the race for any state, or even any city, and you're not going to see like a different multicolor dot to say green is black, yellow stands for white people, green is for Asian people. You'll see a big clunk of red here, a big clunk of green here. Why? Because people like to hang around people that they associate with, their nationality. And it can be not just race, it can be religion or a tribal thing. Even in certain countries, there's a tribe of people here and a tribe of people here, and they don't really mix all together. They get along with each other, but they prefer to be in that. So if that's something that matters to you, you need to do that. Then we got culture, and it follows sort of like that. But you might have a culture of a certain way, and or you move to a new culture, and it might be a shock to you, and you can't get along. Now here in the Philippines, they got a lot of different cultures than was like in America, and it's frustrating. It's little things, like they call Filipino time. We call it okay. I have a party at 5, or I have a job interview at 5. You're supposed to be there at 5, but they come up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:42, whenever they show up. It's called Filipino time. In America, you would not be invited to a party yet, or you would not get that job. There, they like, okay, you showed up 25 minutes late. That's okay. That's culture. Language. I don't know if I want to go through all 30 of these because this video is going pretty long. But you got the language. If you can only speak English, you might want to just be in a country that speaks English. If you're Spanish, you might want to stay in Spanish, because if you go to some place like Africa country that speaks French or Portugal, you're not going to be able to talk unless you are one of these extremely rare people that can pick up a language in a couple of months. Phone and internet. That's a big deal. There's a lot of places in the country that, in different countries, that there ain't much phone service or internet service. And then there's some that's like here in the Philippines. If you're in the city, the internet might be pretty good, but nowhere where it's like it's in America. In America, I can download video maybe in 2 minutes. Here, it might take 20, 30 minutes to get that video download, even with the good internet. You get outside the city, in certain parts of the town, you can be in a major city, and half the city you're not going to get any cell reception. So there it is, Use of corruption. That's one more thing I want to get to. Corruption. I'm going to skip the rest of those. I'll put a link maybe down at the bottom later of the 31s, but you can probably come up with 50 or 100. But corruption is a major one. You go to a country like Mexico, corruption's bad. I mean, just count on, because this happened to me. First time I go to Mexico, I got pulled over 3 or 4 times and literally had to pay the police officer to not take me to jail because I'm a foreigner. Here in the Philippines, corruption is everywhere. I mean, it happens all the time. From minor stuff, from store vendors to regular grocery stores where the person was deliberately trying not to give you your change back, all the way up to government, where you're trying to get a marriage license or something, and you're going to have to grease everybody's hand to get this going a little bit faster. And as that goes, Philippines ain't the worst. It's far from it. So you might find some country you find really nice, and you get there, and it's corrupt. Actually, America sits at 25 out of 195 countries of corruption. That's very low. That's actually in a very good sweet spot. But you got other countries in there where they say that the corruption is extremely high. But anyway, let's get this video done so I can get on about it. But okay, you want to be an expat, do your research. Start early, plan out everything, and check everything off. I'm going to come back with another video here in about 3 or 4 days. Like I said, my voice is a lot better than last time I did it. Anyway, this is Hot Cup of Joe. I hope you